Hello there. This is a teaching on double entry for beginners. This is one out of the series of a few sessions that are being delivered around double entry for beginners, just to give you an insight as to what account will I debit and what account will I credit. And for this very recording, we are going to be looking at scenarios. And we have not put in any of the answers. We want you to think about each of the answers and try to come up with the answers even on your own without our assistance. You have there the double entry principle, where we know for every debit entry there has to be a credit entry. So we will be looking at the dead click, which implies debit expenses, assets and drawings when they are increasing, and you credit liabilities, income and capital when it is increasing. And then of course you do the opposite when any of these are reducing. Let's look at a scenario. I bought some materials and paid £10,200 by check immediately. You bought, so there's expenses taking place, which expenses in this case it will be purchases, and you paid immediately, so your money is going down, your money is being affected. Purchases is an expense. You went to buy some materials, so your cost has gone up. So purchases is under the dead, which is an expense. So my purchases is increasing by £10,200. My bank is an asset. The asset is reducing. There are people that teach the double entry with debit the receiver, credit the giver. That always happens and is perfect for the bank ledger. So in this case, the bank account is giving out money, the bank account is reducing. Bank is an asset and it's under dead. If it's reducing, you will credit that account, which is what we are doing here. I bought materials of £6,000 and I have not yet paid. The principle remains the same for purchases. You're incurring costs. Your expense is increasing. It's under dead. I have not yet paid means you're owing people. And if I'm owing people, my creditors will be affected, and that is increasing. That is a liability. So I will debit purchases and I will credit my creditors with how much I have bought. So your creditors is increasing, and that is with £6,000. I have paid cash for the rent for the first quarter, costing £1,500. You are incurring cost. What cost are you incurring? In this case, I'm incurring the expense of rent. The rent is being paid, so that cost is increasing in my hands. I'm going to debit expense, dead. So the rent will be debited, and it said I paid cash. So my cash account will be affected automatically. The cash account is reducing, so I will credit the cash account. You debit expenses, assets and drawings. I'm going to debit my asset if it's increasing. In this case, the asset is reducing, so I am going to credit the cash account with the amount I paid. And what did I pay for? I paid for rent. My expense is increasing. I received £600 from a customer who was owing me from last month. So you received some money from a customer, so your bank account is affected or your cash book is affected instantly. I know that. Somebody was owing me. Now they have paid me. They are no longer owing me. So when they were owing me, I would have accounted for that in the debtors account. So now they are no longer owing me, so I need to reduce the debtors balance. So I know my money is increasing. I will debit bank. Bank is an asset in my hands. I will debit bank and I will credit debtors. Why? Debtors is an asset in my hands, but now the debtors balance is reducing, not increasing. When you sell, and they are owing you, they've not paid. If it's credit sales, the debtors is increasing. When they pay you, the debtors will be reducing. Another name for debtors, your trade receivables. Another name, your SLCA. Anyone you're comfortable with? Why not? Shoot on with it. The next one says, I bought stationery of £900 gross in cash. This here telling me gross implies that there is VAT charged on that transaction. So I then ask myself, what accounts will be affected and what amounts am I talking about? What did you buy? You bought stationery. So automatically stationery will be affected. You also had to pay VAT on that expense. So the VAT account will also be affected. And then you have paid the money. So your cash balance will be reducing. So we'll find what amounts am I talking about? Because that is the gross amount, I then have to be asking myself, how do I go from gross amount of £900 to the net amount and the VAT? That amount represents 120%. Your net amount representing 100%, your VAT representing 20%, and the gross representing 120%. So I can divide by 120 and multiply by 100 to find the net amount of 750. Or you can also do your £900 divided by 6 and times 5 to give me the net amount. To give me the VAT, I do divided by 120 times 20, which is the VAT element. Or you just do the same thing. £900 divided by 6 times 1 for formality. I will just throw that in there. So my net is £750 that I spent on stationery, which is an expense, and it is increasing. £750. The VAT, £150 will be affected as well, and that will be a debit. My expense is increasing and my cash account is reducing. The cash account is an asset in your hands, and the asset is reducing. The cash amount you are paying out is causing your cash balance to reduce. So I'm giving out money, my cash balance is reducing. Debt, there is asset, my cash balance, my bank account, they are all classes assets, and the asset is reducing. If it is increasing, I will debit on the debt, and the opposite when it's reducing. So in this case, your cash balance is reducing, I will credit the cash account. My expense is increasing, I will debit the stationery account with the net amount, and then I will debit VAT, because VAT on purchases is an asset, so you can claim that back. I will debit VAT account with the VAT element. I hope this has been useful. I would say please continue studying, please continue connecting with the other teachings that we have on double entry. If you know it, kudos to you. If you don't know it, just keep studying. We all had to learn it one day, someday, somehow. And of course, keep learning, keep studying, and keep practicing. Please follow us on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to this video, like us, follow us, and we'll continue producing videos and recordings and teachings to enhance understanding of double entry and accounts in general. Okay then, adios.